What is up, awesome people of the internet? Guys, happy Wednesday, everybody. Hopefully y'all are having a fan-freaking-tastic start to your day. And today we got a good show for you all. We got a resolution to something, and then we got some updates on the games that happened yesterday. So whether or not you're watching this stream live, if you're watching it live, what's up? Thanks so much for joining me live. If you are watching on the replay squad, put replay squad in the chat or in the comment section. Again, thank y'all so much for rocking with me. This is Quita in the mornings. My name is Quita. We are in the mornings and we're talking about some women's hoops. So make sure to grab your coffee, grab your tea, grab your soda, grab your. Do people drink soda? Why did I even say soda? I don't even say soda. Grab your pop, uh, grab your gallon of water, whatever you got to grab. Get it, got it, good. Okay. And we got something to talk about to start off the show. And when I saw this come through yesterday, I was like, finally. And then I was also like, oh no. Lots of things to talk about. Again, thank y'all so much for joining. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Okay. Hey, Tisha giving y'all a warning. Hey, so y'all better act right. Y'all better act right. Just saying, just saying. Okay. So let's get into the main story of the day. This is the saga that I think is kind of over, but knowing content people, it's not going to be over for a long time. But let's talk about the news of the day, and it's the fact that the WNBA's investigation is over. Guys, I do have an update for you all. The WNBA has officially wrapped their investigation into an alleged racist fan behavior at the Indiana Fever versus Chicago Sky game on May the 17th. And guess what? Well, they found nothing. No audio, no video that confirmed specifically what people online were alleging. So, in this segment, we're gonna break down what happened, what the league said, and how I feel about it, and also some takeaways, some final takeaways, I should say, from what, in my opinion, was really a wild and unnecessary week in the world of women's basketball. Okay. So first off, during the Chicago Sky versus Indiana Fever game, the blowout game where the Indiana Fever trounced the Chicago Sky, about 35 points. The game was in Indiana, and after the game happened, we ended up seeing allegations that appeared online, primarily on social media, about racist fan behavior during the actual game and whatnot. And there was a claim of monkey noises. There was a claim of other stuff that was happening. And also, the fact that, some Fever fans really don't like the Chicago Sky and or really don't like Angel. And then we saw videos of fan comments outside the stadium where they were asked, "Oh, say, what do you think about when you hear the name Angel Reese?" And then some people said some, like, in my opinion, wild stuff. And there was other stuff that came out, and all of it was just like, something horrible happened during the game. WNBA, do something, do something, do something, do something. And the WNBA, they ended up investigating. And they have released an official statement. So here is what the WNBA has to say. So this was released yesterday. It said the WNBA today issued the following statement regarding the Chicago Sky at Indiana Fever game on May the 17th, 2025. And it says, we have investigated the report of racist fan behavior in the vicinity of the court during the May 17th, 2025 Chicago Sky at Indiana Fever game based on information gathered to date, including from relevant fans, team, and arena staff, as well as audio and video review of the game. We have not substantiated it. Again, the WNBA says they have not substantiated the racist allegation claims. Says the WNBA is committed to fostering a safe and inclusive environment for everyone and will continue to be vigilant in enforcing our fan code of conduct. All right, so that's what the WNBA had to say. And in return, the Chicago Sky and the Indiana Fever made their own statements as well. The Chicago Sky, their president and CEO Adam Fox ended up saying that we appreciate the quick action by the league and the Indiana Fever to take this matter seriously and to investigate the process demonstrates the league's strong stance on stopping hate at all WNBA games and events, and we will continue to support these efforts. And then the Indiana Fever had something to say as well. This is what Mel Raines, the CEO of Pacers Sports and Entertainment, had to say. She said, Mel said, we appreciate the swift and thorough process taken by the WNBA to investigate these allegations, which were not substantiated. At Gamebridge Fieldhouse, we are committed to providing the best possible basketball experience for players and fans where hate speech has absolutely no place. Indiana is home to the world's greatest fans, and we look forward to an exciting season of Fever basketball. So that's what was said by the three entities, right? The WNBA, the Chicago Sky, and the Indiana Fever. So basically, what happened is they heard some claims, they looked at it, they listened, they asked around, and ultimately they found nothing to substantiate the accusations. And personally, I'm good with this. A claim was made that the league did, and the league did exactly what they were supposed to do, right? They investigated. They did their due diligence, which is good. But the thing that they haven't said, and the thing that I'm still wondering is exactly what in the world started or triggered this investigation in the first place. Was it social media posts after the game was out there? Was it a player that put a report in for an investigation to happen? Was it a staff member that was working at the game that put something out? The issue that I have is that we don't know. Was it something else? But what we do know is this. We do know that the Chicago Sky head coach, Tyler Marsh, he talked about the investigation during a little bit after the investigation was announced. He talked about it a little bit, and someone asked him a question about whether or not he heard anything, and he said he found out about this situation. He found out about the comments when everybody else did, meaning when it was on social media, right? He said, I think it's something that we heard about, and we're just forthcoming with anything that the league is able to do investigation wise. So this guy was, happy to help or whatever, but they didn't hear anything live during the game, at least according to Tyler Marsh, who said he heard about it when everybody else did. And also, even though Angel did answer questions about the investigation, she never claimed that she personally heard anything racist at the game. And also, a thing to note is that, there's nobody. I haven't seen any player on the Chicago Sky or the Indiana Fever actually claim and say this thing happened. And so, Anyway, that's the thing. The coach didn't hear about it. The players didn't hear about it. Angel talked about the investigation, but she never actually said, yes, I heard something said to me during the game. She never actually said that. Even though there's a lot of people claiming that she did, but she didn't though. She didn't. All right. She didn't. And in a lot of ways, in my opinion, this is actually the best outcome for this investigation. Here's the deal. Nobody, well, at least I think most rational people, would not want to believe that there is, rampant racism happening at WNBA arenas. And thankfully, there was nothing that could be proven in this case. So again, I think this is the best case scenario. Investigate, figure out what you can figure out. And if nothing is happening, great. Nice job on the investigation. If something was happening, again, nice job on the investigation. Let's actually fix it. Let's make some changes. But nothing was ultimately found. Now, here's the deal. This thing has caused a whole lot of stir. A whole lot of stir. If you watched the video, I ended up putting out, a week or so ago now? I jumped into this. I told y'all what we knew at the time. And I said, from what we know, I don't think that the WNBA will find anything clear-cut that was said during the actual game. And I was like, hey, if I'm wrong, I will admit it. I will admit if I am wrong, but I don't think they'll find anything. And turns out they didn't find anything. And, that's cool. They did the investigation. And yes, I know when sometimes people investigate themselves, sometimes they find whatever they want to find. I truly believe that the WNBA truly did investigate and they really didn't find anything. We all know that racism is not welcome in the WNBA. And I said I didn't think they'd find the evidence. Turns out I was right. But here's the thing. Here's the thing to remember. Guys. Just because something cannot be substantiated does not automatically mean it didn't happen. It means that you cannot prove that it happened. All right? And the WNBA cannot prove that something racist was said during the game. Again, it is what it is. And that's worth remembering, right? Just because something isn't substantiated does not mean it didn't happen. It just means you can't prove it. And so keep that in your minds as we continue. All right. From the conversation that we had initially when this thing, took shape, to where we're at now, this just reiterates the fact that this whole thing was a severe distraction. And guys, this is just another reminder that social media is not real, right? Here's the deal. The WNBA, in my opinion, handled this as professionally as they possibly could, right? They launched the investigation and they moved quickly and they reported back their findings, but fans, the media, Twitter, that was a whole different story because people use this as an excuse to say some of the nastiest things imaginable about other people. We saw people weaponize this to attack others or claim the moral high ground when you see some of the stuff they say in other instances and you're like, what? Really? And also, that includes people who previously went in on me for my original video that I put out about this. And all the stuff. It was just a lot of mess, a lot of unnecessary stuff, and yada yada yada. And none of it actually reflected on what was happening on the court. It led to millions of views, millions of just unnecessary stuff. And, it perpetuated something that at least, again, could not be substantiated. It doesn't mean it actually did not happen. It means that no one can prove that it happened. Because in this day, you gotta be able to prove stuff, and nothing was proven in this case. So, my thoughts about the WNBA response. Do I think the WNBA handled this well? Yes, I do. I do think they took this seriously, and they acted fast, which is good. But here's the thing that I still want to know. What specifically triggered the investigation? Because moving forward, they might need to raise the bar a little bit when it comes to starting an investigation. If you're going to launch something as serious as an investigation on fan conduct, and take all the negative press that comes with that, you better be working with more than just a viral post. Okay? That being said, I get it. Allegations like this have to be looked into. It's not that, Anyway, they have to be looked into, and they were, and they found nothing, and we move on. Okay? So, that's about it. Once again, I want to talk about the fact that we need to move on. So, I'm moving on. I wanted to just briefly talk about that to start off the show. But we're moving on because, again, this is a waste of time. This is crazy. So, here's the thing. I'm going to say, let's all do better. Myself included. 100% myself included. Let's be slower to outrage. Let's be quicker to listen to the full message. Let's stop rewarding drama over substance, because all of this noise, guys, it is distracting. And it's distracting us from what really matters at this moment, which is the actual basketball on the court. So, here's where I'm at. Fans, keep rooting for your team. Let's rock out. Let's support the actual basketball on the court. Talk about what your players are doing on the court, and let's keep it straight basketball. Here's the deal. We all know drama makes money, and I can talk all about the brilliant rookie performances that we've been seeing so far this year, to elite defenses, to players hitting career milestones, and yada, 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 and all of that is fantastic. But none of that goes as viral as, did you see what Angel Reese said? OMG, what did Brittany Griner say? And blah, 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 blah. Guys, that's the landscape. That's the game within the game, which is annoying, but, expect something like this to probably repeat sometime down the line when either these two teams play again, or something else happens, because people like drama, and people will figure out something to be upset about so they can get a lot of engagement. Okay? All right, we're moving on. Thank you so much, JN, for the super chat. Says, now this is being weaponized against Angel Reese. She didn't call for this. Jim Lee, a congressman in Indiana, wants her to apologize. What is she apologizing for? She didn't do anything. Yeah, I don't know what she would apologize for. I don't know. Whatever. Let's move on. It doesn't matter. Anyway, let's move on to the thing that actually matters, is the games that happened yesterday. So yesterday, hopefully y'all were able to watch some of these games, because we had I want to say smorgasbord. Is that the right way to say that phrase? Anyway, we had a whole assortment of awesome games that happened yesterday, and I want to talk through them. And as previously, I'm gonna kind of talk through game by game, and then we're gonna just go through them real quick. So number one, we saw the Dallas Wings go to Connecticut and take care of business against the Connecticut Sun. The final score of that game was 109-87. A thing to note, guys, this was a reunion of sorts for Paige Bueckers. And y'all, Paige had the best game of her career so far. The Dallas Wings played the best game of the season so far, where both Arike and Paige were both doing their thing, and that is very, very good to see. Paige, She was struggling with efficiency in the last several games. However, in yesterday's game, she shoots 80% from the field. Ends up playing some really, really good minutes. 21 points in this game, 7 assists. She absolutely was on her big one in this one. And you just love to see it, right? And Arike Ogunbowale was able to score some buckets as well. She ultimately, guys, Arike Ogunbowale was playing. She was getting a whole bunch of steals. A whole bunch of steals in this one. She ended up having 19 points in this game, 6 steals in this game as well. Both of the 2 main players for this Dallas Wings team were looking pretty good. Now, are you facing off against the struggling Connecticut Sun? Yes. So we can't read too much into this. Yes, this was a kind of a homecoming of sorts game for Paige. Yes, Paige is back in the swing of her efficiency, being up there and whatnot. That's all fine and dandy and fan-freaking-tastic. However, a thing to just keep in mind is the fact that they were doing this against the Connecticut Sun. And so, you gotta keep that in mind. You gotta keep that in mind as we talk about this game. So it's not like, OMG, the Dallas Wings are back. They're gonna be dominating and blah 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 blah. It's against it's against the Connecticut Sun, a team that at this point still has not won a game. So keep that in mind when you want to say that the Dallas Wings are back and they doing a thing. Okay. But I will say this, that Paige actually joined Tamika Johnson as the only WNBA rookies in WNBA history with a 25-5 game on 80% shooting from the field. And so that's cool. We gotta love these random out of nowhere stats, okay? we gotta love it. Also, Paige is the first player in WNBA history with 60 points and 30 assists through her first 5 games. All right, so that's something to note as well. She was cooking. She was doing her thing. The Dallas Wings looked good yesterday, but again, keep in mind who they are facing off against. The Connecticut Sun, man, eventually they're going to get that first win. Eventually they're going to get that first win. Also, guys, just so you know, Dejanay Carrington, ultimately she had 16 points as well. And Maddie Seegers added 12 points off the bench. Ty Harris did play some minutes yesterday, so that was good to see. But yeah, anyway. Now for the Connecticut Sun, they're struggle festing. They're struggle festing. Tina Charles, was scoring. She was pretty efficient yesterday. Ultimately, she had 27 points in that game, and Marina Mabry added 19 points as well. And we'll see whenever this Connecticut Sun team actually starts to get a win. But yeah, it's struggle fest. It is struggle fest here in Connecticut. I say here in Connecticut like I live in Connecticut. Anyway, it's a struggle fest in Connecticut, and eventually they'll win. Eventually. All right, next up, I want to talk about Breanna Stewart and how she went off yesterday. Here's the deal. This New York Liberty team has primarily been starred and controlled by Natasha Cloud. And Natasha Cloud, she's been balling, she's been doing her thing, and whatnot. And so that's great. That's fantastic. And yesterday, Natasha Cloud struggled. Tosh Cloud struggled to score yesterday. She was very inefficient in terms of her shooting, especially shooting from the 3. But, of course, her passing is always there. She ultimately ended up with 10 assists, had 5 points. But the thing about the New York Liberty, the thing that makes this team so dangerous is the fact that they have a bunch of hoopers on their team. And it could be anybody's night. And Breanna Stewart was like, okay, Tosh, I know you struggling a little bit. I'm I'm gonna bring the efficiency. I'm gonna bring the points, and that's what she did. Stewie finished 24 points yesterday in the Liberty versus Valkyries game, where the Valkyries they got destroyed. The final score of the game was 95-67. Again, 67 points for the Golden State Valkyries, 95 for the New York Liberty. There was nothing that the Valkyries could do because that's just how good the New York Liberty are, right? This is a team that I believe they lead the league in point differential, meaning the amount of points that the gap between how many points they have and how many points the opponent has at the end of the game. They've been doing their thing, and yesterday they shoot the ball so efficiently. Yes, Brianna Stewart does her thing, but Kennedy Burke continues to impress me. Maureen Johannes, what they call her, the Wizard. She was doing her thing as well. She had 18 points. Overall, this New York Liberty team are just, they're good. They're very, very, very good. And the thing is, keep in mind, Sabrina only scored like 8 points yesterday. Like she did not do a crazy amount, though she was passing that basketball as well. She was passing that basketball. But the team was led by Stewie. Maureen Johannes showed up and was a big impact. Jonquil Jones, of course, gonna get you a double-double, and so that was pretty cool. But anyway, New York Liberty, there's nothing you can really do. Because again, when one person is struggling, the other one comes in like a flood and starts to dominate. So I'm just saying, that I think that was something to note that I wanted to just mention, that the New York Liberty, they're rocking and rolling. They are rocking and rolling, and they are still one of the undefeated teams in the W. Okay? And actually, let's go to the other undefeated team in the W, and that is the Minnesota Lynx, who stay undefeated with the help of course, their star, Napheesa Collier. Here's the deal, guys. The Minnesota Lynx played a tough game yesterday. All right, so yesterday they ended up facing off against the Seattle Storm, and this game was a down to the wire game. Yes, Angie. Yes, Kayla Thornton did get her. Kayla Thornton did get her championship ring. Yep, she did get her championship ring. Yep. And it's like she had like a reunion of sorts with the Liberty players, and it seemed like she got a little bit emotional seeing her teammates and whatnot. There's definitely a whole lot of love between Kayla Thornton and the New York Liberty players. Sweet Home Bama says Stewie's the truth. Facts. All right, so here's the deal. With the New York Liberty, with the Minnesota Lynx. They ended up beating the Seattle Storm 82-77. A huge thing to note about this game, which you probably saw if you watched it, but here's the deal. The Minnesota Lynx have actually been playing without Kayla McBride for this entire season so far, right? For the first 4 games, Kayla McBride was not playing for personal reasons, right? She was initially not with the team, and then in that 4th game, I think she was there. I think she was on the bench and she didn't play. But when I think about what Kayla McBride means to the team, she means just instant impact. She was not playing. She was not with the team for 4 games. Hopped in, and it was like she never left. It was like she was never anywhere, right? Kayla McBride efficiently was shooting from the 3. Ultimately, she finished the game with 15 points. She's dog. If you thought the Minnesota Lynx was really good before, hey, check them out now. Okay? she did her thing in this one, and it wasn't just her guys. Courtney Williams is back. I told y'all, the thing I love about this Minnesota Lynx team is the tandem of of Courtney Williams and Atisha Heidemann. Right? Courtney Williams and Atisha Heidemann. When I see them two playing off each other, right? In games where Courtney is struggling, Natisha comes in and balls out. In games where Courtney is hooping, Natisha comes in and just gives some good minutes. Right? Courtney Williams dominated yesterday, doing her normal self. 23 points for her. She wasn't extra, like, she was pretty efficient. She was pretty efficient in this one. And she's like back to her normal self. Like, when we think about Courtney Williams, we think about the mid-range assassin. We think about somebody who can get to the bucket if she needs to. We think about somebody who can knock down the three. And Courtney was doing her big one yesterday. And also, we have Napheesa Collier, who struggled in terms of her overall shooting percentage. Like, she, this was not the best showing in terms of the efficiency of Napheesa Collier, right? This wasn't. When you look at this game and you compare it to the other games this year, this was a not so great game, I would say. But even a not so great game for Napheesa Collier is still history making for everybody else. Napheesa Collier finished the game against Seattle with 16 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists, 5 steals, and 2 blocks. Now, when we look at that stat, you gotta think about it. And the thing I want to talk about is the fact that Napheesa Collier, she's unstoppable. Unstoppable. We talk about the one of the best players in the W, or the best player in the W, I would say. It is Napheesa. Her ability to score, her ability to make an impact, her ability to, even when she's not playing the best, even when her efficiency is like under 40%, she still looks very, very good out there. And I got to give it to her. I have to give it to Napheesa Collier. She's absolutely doing her thing in this one. And, she'll keep it up. She'll keep it up. A thing to note is from yesterday's game, Napheesa becomes the only WNBA player ever in history to record 5+ steals and 5+ blocks in a single quarter, guys. Just saying. Just saying. Just saying. Okay? Okay. All right, let's continue on. Let's continue on. All right. Sorry. We got a super chat. Let's go to the super chat real quick. JN, thank you so much for the super chat. Says, long term, do you think Paige and Enrique can work? I don't know. I think yesterday was a good game, but I don't know. I think we have to wait for more time to tell for sure on that. Dee's Vintage, thank you so much for the super chat. Says, are you happy now? Really pandering to the Clark crowd these days. Is that meant for the Clark crowd? Are you happy now is to everybody. Because no, it seems like a lot of people aren't happy. And so that's, I try when I think of titles. One, usually it's like the first thing that pops in my head is like, it's like a phrase or like something. And this popped in my head and I was like, yeah, I mean, is anybody happy now? I mean, we have totally deviated in a lot of ways from basketball since that game happened, and the allegations and whatnot. And regardless of whether or not you think something happened, and maybe the WNBA half did the investigation, or maybe you're like, oh, the WNBA did it right, great, solved, or you're like, The WNBA should have never did this in the first place. Regardless of whatever your thoughts are about this, my point is, it feels like people are just mad. Everyone's mad. Like, this is just not like, so yeah. Are you happy now? I don't think it's pandering to a specific group. I think it's literally to everybody. Are you happy? The investigation's done. Regardless of what your opinions on how the investigation actually went, is there any way that we can get back to actually just focusing on hoops? So that's why I wanted to just mention that for a hot second. I want it to be done with it. It's over. It is what it is. Whether you like it or you dislike it, I don't know. Can we move on? Can we move on? Okay. Can we move on? That's basically what that was supposed to be. Not pandering, but if you think it's pandering, it's whatever, to be honest with you. It is what it is, okay? All right. We're moving on because, again, the focus of this is the actual hoops of it all, not the actual drama of it all, because who cares about the drama? Well, clearly a lot of people care, but I don't. So let's move on. All right. Next up, let's talk through. All right. Yeah, there we go. I got the new graphic up. Let's talk about the Atlanta Dream versus the LA Sparks. So again, we had a lot of games on yesterday. There was truly a game for just about every single fan could have something that they could watch yesterday. And this game between the Atlanta Dream and the LA Sparks was a very, very close one. Ultimately, the Dream ended up getting the dub 88-82. And in this game, it was all about Allisha Gray, who finished the game with 25 points, 6 assists, 5 rebounds in this game. And with her stats from the day, we see Allisha Gray end up making some history. Guys. She joins Sylvia Fowles and Sabrina Ionescu as the only players in WNBA history to have 25 plus points, to have 5 plus rebounds, 5 plus assists, on at least 85% shooting in a game. Whoa. She was absolutely fan-freaking-tastic, guys. You want to know how good? You want to know how good Allisha Gray was? Well, she went the whole game and she finished shooting 85%, or 87%, I should say. And she missed one shot. One shot did Allisha Gray miss. One shot. She was 7 of 8 from the field. And it wasn't like she was just shooting and looking for her own shot. No, she was passing that basketball as well. She actually she would have led the team in assists if it wasn't for Ryan Howard. But she had 6 assists. Ryan Howard has 7 assists in this game, so she was passing the basketball. Absolutely. Go says, Quita, do you think Sylvia Fowles is underrated? Yeah. I think people. Yeah, I think it's because she was a very calm person. I think it's very easy to underrate people who aren't in the news a lot because of maybe they said something or whatever. Sylvia Fowles kept to herself. She just hooped and she moved on with her life. And unfortunately, sometimes people don't pay that much attention to those folks. So yeah, yes, 100%. I do think that Sylvia Fowles is underrated. Anyway, that has nothing to do with this. This team wins the game because of Allisha Gray. And eventually, something that I continue to say, I'm gonna say it again. I am still not a fan of the amount of threes that Ryan Howard has taken. Though I will say that Ryan Howard actually did more than just shoot threes yesterday. which I think is actually pretty good to see. And I want to see more of that, right? I think she got to the basket like once. I think at least once she got to the basket. But for the most part, as per usual this season, Ryan Howard has just been shooting threes. And that's fine and dandy and everything, but we just know how great of a player she is. Ultimately, the thing I do like about Ryan Howard yesterday is her ability to get her teammates involved. She had 7 assists in the game yesterday. Almost had a triple-double. Like she was actually kind of close to getting a triple-double. 15 points, 9 rebounds, 7 assists for Ryan Howard. And I'm just waiting until it just fully clicks to her. Just get to the basket basically every single possession. They can't really stop you, you know. So that's something to know. Also, a thing to remember, guys. Brittany Griner was not playing yesterday. Again, she's still dealing with a knee injury. But Brianna Jones did a pretty decent job down low. No real issues there. You know. So anyway, let's continue on. Also, guys, Tina Pow is back. I told y'all yesterday that I thought that you know, she might be back. Yesterday, but she was back, and so that was good. She came off the bench, and she added in 4 points. So shout out to Tina Pow. She is back like she never left. Okay, let's talk about the LA Sparks again. I mean, of course, this season has been all about the Kelsey Plum proven period, and she's proven that she is fan-freaking-tastic. 27 points for Kelsey Plum on 50% shooting. She ended up with 5 assists, 4 steals, which is actually like pretty cool and like maybe a little surprising, but like really, really cool for her. De'Erica Hamby led the squad in points with 28, and also she was passing that basketball as well with 8. I can't say enough how much I have seen this team, specifically Kelsey Plum, grow and just really take on this team. Like her, De'Erica, and Azurá Stevens, who didn't have the best of games. Like she was very inefficient in the game, but like, you know, she still ended up with a double-double. Like those 3 are like the key players for the squad. And yes, the good thing is Rickea Jackson is back. I mean, I didn't expect much for her to do yesterday because again, she's just coming back. Yeah, she didn't do much of anything yesterday. She came off the bench, didn't score any points. She went 0 for 3, but it's good to see her back. Absolutely good to see her back. We'll see her work her way back into the starting lineup, and the LA Sparks will be a lot better for it because again, I like Sarah Ashley Barker. I think she's a fun player. However, she should not be starting. That's my thing. Not be starting. There was an opportunity for LA to come back in the fourth quarter, and they did. They just didn't have enough time. They didn't have enough time to ultimately get the dub. Okay, and finally, guys, let's talk about the Phoenix Mercury versus the Chicago Sky. Now, you know, I've already made a reaction video to that, so like, you know. Mike, no, Cameron Brink will not be back until July. She will not be back until July. Okay? She will not be back until July. But the Phoenix Mercury beat the Chicago Sky 94-89. Initially, I thought the Sky was going to come back. I thought the Sky was going to come back and get the dub. Ultimately, they do not. And it is what it is. I do see a lot of improvement from the Chicago Sky this past game. But ultimately, I mean, it's the freaking Phoenix Mercury. Like, it just is what it is. It just is what it is, okay? Tube says it's June according to ESPN. I thought I read somewhere it was July, but yeah, maybe it's June. I don't know. Either way, she's not back yet. I'll double check. I mean, last time I saw it, I thought I saw July, but yeah. Anyway, Satu Sabli did her thing. She wasn't super efficient, but she ultimately ended up having 20 points, 8 rebounds, 3 assists for her. But the thing that I constantly talk about is Alyssa Thomas. And Alyssa Thomas had this like funny play where Angel set a screen, and Alyssa Thomas was trying to get around that screen. She ended up falling and then grabbed Angel's jersey, almost knocking her down. I was like, oh geez, she's so strong, so strong. Alyssa Thomas finished the game with her normal flair and pizzazz. Another double for her. 10 points, 15 rebounds. She almost had a triple double. She only had seven rebounds. 15 assists. 15 assists. Oh my goodness. And if we want to look at the record book, Alyssa Thomas becomes the third player in WNBA history with multiple 15 assist games. She joins Courtney Vandersloot, who did it 7 times, and Tisha Penicheiro, another legend that y'all need to know about, who did it 4 times. So, y'all, hey, AT, that's what she do. She's not going to score a ton of points, but she's going to pass that basketball, and she's going to be the engine for her squad. Ultimately, the Phoenix Mercury were able to get the dub. I saw a lot of positives from the Chicago Sky personally. Ariel Atkins showed aggressiveness from the get-go, which was really, really good to see. She ultimately ended up with 21 points in this game. But as the game went on, she kind of faded more to the background, and I want to see Ariel Atkins stay aggressive as the game goes on. And I want to see the Chicago Sky continue to get plays specifically targeted to Ariel Atkins, because I thought she played good in this one. All the starters, I would say, had moments of really good play. Nakia Nurse knocked down a couple of shots, and then so that was kind of good. Courtney Vandersloot knocked down some shots and whatnot. Camilla, same thing. Angel, same thing. All the starters for the Chicago Sky was in double figures, so that's great. But the Chicago Sky struggled on defense. Defense. That's what you struggled on, right? The problem was, you had there was just issues from overall the guards defending the 3, the post players defending the 3. That was an issue for the Chicago Sky, and that's a huge part of why the Sky lose. The Sky lose because there were several times in the game yesterday that the Sky played pretty good on offense. I think they played good enough to win, possibly, on offense. My issue isn't with the offense per se, though. I do want to see Ariel Atkins stay more active as the game goes on. But the issue to me was the defense and how we saw open shots by the Phoenix Mercury, open threes, right? When you have Catherine Westbeld playing a post position, she has a post on her. She's gonna get the shot, right? I think one of the plays we saw Camilla on. We saw Camilla on Catherine Westbeld, and Camilla didn't get out in time enough, and then Catherine ended up knocking down a 3-point shot. My point is, I think the issue with this team is perimeter defense. Whether that's the post players or whether that's the guards. We got to get better on perimeter defense. I mean, all defense, but definitely perimeter defense. Because these 3... The Sky are getting cooked at the 3-point line. That's the issue. The reason why we got blown out as much as we did against the New York Liberty was our perimeter defense. It was the fact that we had players shooting threes left and right, and there was nothing we could do to stop it. Get a hand in the face. Don't be late to contest. And that was the issue against New York. That was the issue yesterday. And yes, the Chicago Sky still have a turnover issue. Yes, they still turn over the ball 19 times, and that's still an issue. However, if you can get your perimeter defense in order, that would give you some wiggle room if you turn over the basketball. So that's my thoughts there. Ultimately, it is what it is. But that's my recaps about all the games. I kind of wanted to go through them all, just to give a little love to all the various games that happened yesterday. Let's see. D-Time, thank you so much for the super chat. Says Cheryl, Cynthia, Diana, and Maya are on my WNBA Mount Rushmore. Can any current WNBA player replace them? I don't think so. Well, Cheryl never played in the W. Cheryl Miller never played in the W. So if this is your like women's basketball Mount Rushmore, then cool. But if it's your WNBA Mount Rushmore, Cheryl Miller shouldn't be on there. She never played in the WNBA. And Cynthia Cooper, didn't she only play like 3 years or whatever? Yeah, didn't she? She didn't play. She didn't play that much in the WNBA, did she? I didn't think she did. Yeah, I think she played 3 or 4 years in the WNBA. So not the longest of because she was an older player when the league was founded. So like that was understandable that she didn't play that much. But like yeah, I mean all those players are fantastic players, absolutely. And again, I think if this is like your women's basketball Mount Rushmore, that's fine. But maybe I'll have to do my own Mount Rushmore. I think that'd be a fun exercise. That'd be a fun exercise. Absolutely Women's Hoops, thanks so much for the super chat, says, late with this, so sorry. There's a lot of praise for how the WNBA handled the investigation, and I love this game, but I can only give flowers when I know the sources that triggered the action. If it's the internet, I'd be upset. Well, yeah, we don't know what triggered the investigation. We don't know. Will we ever find out? Probably not. You know, I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, that's the stream. I don't have much of anything to say else. We're gonna end the stream here. JN, thank you so much for the super chat. Says Breanna Stewart is definitely top 4 and Candace Parker. Okay, all right. I think I gotta make my top list, and I have to make my Mount Rushmore. I think that could be a fun. That could be a fun. That could be a fun thing to do. Okay. Anyway, guys, that's the stream. I gotta go because I got to get to work, and guys, that's it. Thank y'all for rocking with me, guys. If y'all could, please focus on the game of women's basketball. Please focus on the game. Okay, there's a lot of stuff happening. There's a lot of people who want you to be mad about something. Everybody wants you to be mad about something because anger sells. Anger sells, and joy not so much. And so that's something I want you all to keep in mind. Please, just pay attention to the game, watch the game, engage with people who are talking about the game. Again, I think that's it. That's all I want to talk about with that investigation stuff. I'm done. I talked about it when they first launched it because again it's basketball related. Now it's over. Talked about it because it's basketball related. Let's move on. Let's stop all this crazy rhetoric. Let's just focus on the W and what's actually happening on the court, which is like some awesome plays, awesome games, some awesome players. It's a lot of stuff that's happening that is really, really, really cool. Anyway, I'll see y'all in the next one. See y'all tomorrow, or actually maybe later tonight for a live stream as we talk through some games. But yeah, anyway, that's that. I'll see y'all in the next one. Till next time, guys. Bye-bye.